or you'll get a horrible distorted body image that'll cause you to do things to yourself, like what happened with Haley.
Hmm. Yeah, because you have to walk that fine line. Because again, you have to deal with the judges. They critique your bodies. Some competitors, most of them they like to go to judges and ask, "What you thought?" Did they critique? Because they want to see how they place. I know a couple of competitors said they don't talk to the judges because they don't want the feedback. They feel like what the problem is. They try to fix it themselves. But that's the thing in bodybuilding, you do depend on those judges' feedbacks because they're the ones who understand the nuances of the sport. They see things that you may not see, and that's the thing is one of the biggest effects of body muscle because of that critique from them. Sometimes even when you look in the mirror and people tell you like, "Hey, you look great," but then you're still saying, it's something not right. I mean, I feel like I'm either too small, or my hair's not right. Is it my pec's not right? Is what I'm wearing not right? It's just such a disorder that it can take a hold of you. It's like almost like being like Howard Mandel, he's a hypochondriac, and his thing is that he has to wash his hands, he can't touch anything, like that.
Mm-hmm.
He that it just takes a good amount of time, but he learns how to control it. And that's the thing is, especially in the bodybuilding world, they don't think like in an interview later, she's a figure competitor, she's a figure in the OCB, and she talks that people should go ahead and get that mental health. And you shouldn't be ashamed if you need the help. It never hurts to talk to somebody who might understand what you're going through.
And again, you're right about that. The only problem is that mental illness has got such a stigma in this country. I mean, especially in the job marketplace, in the job place, in the workplace, um, people have to hide the fact that they're getting treatment for mental illness because that can cost you your job with some people. Is that
Mhm.
we have this stigma against people with mental illness. It's like, oh, are they going to go crazy? Are they going to go? Are they going to like shoot up the place or something like that? And so, unfortunately, it's like you see that people have to hide the fact. In I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world. I know what it's like here in America is that you have to hide the fact that you're getting treatment for mental illness. Otherwise, you can lose your job, or you can get social stigma as being crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead. Okay.
Um, yeah, that's what it was. I had already finished. Sorry.
Especially in the black community, we feel mental health issues is more like in the other communities, like white people, But we're all humans. We have different backgrounds, but we all are humans. The brain doesn't, you know between the difference of your. I want to say your race because we're all as humans. We're all the same race, but your ethnic background, your ethnicity, who you are, where you come from, what community you're from. You know, it's just back in the day. You remember people who had mental issues were put into homes and into single asylums, and those people just and sometimes it wasn't that bad. Sometimes, or like in some cases, like women have children, got pregnant, they had postpartum depression, and they needed some say buck it up, and smile and move it, yeah. And both of you have seen stories, heard stories about bodybuilders committing suicide.
Hmm.
I did some posts and stuff on my social media when I hear about it, or I think one person that Keith mentions a guy named Dallas. He was friends with Michaela Aycock. I remember when Michaela she posted a thing where she wasn't, she said she took a break from competing. I said, what's going on, and then she responded to it. I understand, but the thing is, people get curious when something, we don't know if it, I think, okay, now I know that your friend died, but then it affected you. So it would have been better just, I know she's more of, she's rural, she's from the country, and out there, I'm from the country. And around here, we don't talk about stuff like that. But it's best to get it off your chest because someday it might eat away at you, after a while.
Right. And it's like, and you're absolutely right about that. I mean, to get treatment, I think, is a good thing. But again, you're up against that mountain of social stigma when it comes to mental illness. And that's what prevents people from doing that because they don't want to be labeled as crazy. Because people will say, and then it's like when you just label somebody like that, it's like you're not taking into consideration what exactly do they have, what's causing it to occur, and such like that. None of that is taken into consideration. They're just labeled crazy.
Hmm.
And if you just label them as crazy, it's like, oh well, do I want to have anything to do with that? And it's like that's why people hide it. And that's why people unfortunately hide it, and why they also hide getting treatment for it, because they don't want that. They don't want to lose relationships. They don't want to have problems with their families or such like that. And I think one of the big problems is people don't talk about it. I think that, and I think people will talk about it in the bodybuilding community to get back on to muscle dysmorphia. I think they'll talk about it, but I think they need to treat it as something serious, and that it's not something just casual. Because, as in the case of Haley, this can cause you to do things that will either really seriously screw you up, if not kill you, if not end your life. If you do
Hmm.
this, because as everybody here knows, competitive bodybuilding, you do it wrong, it can screw you up physically for life, if not end your life, as has
Hmm.
been demonstrated time and again. So I think the mental aspect of it, I mean, if you are experiencing muscle dysmorphia, I think you need help for it. I don't think this is something, some people, at least they appear to take a cavalier attitude towards it, and I don't think you should, my opinion, because this is something serious.
Yeah, I think you should always take, especially when dealing with your health. You take it seriously. Don't like criticize or like yo, like say, oh, suck it up, buttercup. But sometimes you just can't suck it up. There's times where I heard stories of people who got so into this thing with dysmorphia that it affected their relationships with other people, especially family and friends. They don't know what to do. They're just looking off to the side. Or you might have somebody, especially like older people, I say that there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. But if there is, you have to have the courage. And the thing is, this society, America, is probably, even though this country has been around for a good while, it's still the youngest country on the planet, where the mindset of it is like it's kind of mixed. It's between the stuff that's I think most thing the religious stuff that's involved in it. It's praying, that's nice, but the thing is, faith and religion is two different things. Faith is good to have belief. Religion sometimes can be taken to used for as a tool or as a weapon. And that's the thing is, we have to get out of those old mindset and sit down and say, you know what? Let's figure out a way to help out somebody who's dealing with this. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's put it out there. Like an organization like IB NPC, these are your athletes, and they're dealing with this. This is they no like I said again. When I talk to these competitors, I say no one goes come see the show to see the promoters, the sponsors, the judges, or anybody else to come see the competitors. And if you don't have healthy athletes, you won't have shows. If you go to a show, you say, okay, I'm going to see, like I said, my girl Andrea Shaw, and then she has issue and says, "Where's Andrea? Where's Andrea?" Well, she's going through something. She might be having a case of body dysmorphia herself, and no one say, "Hey, why not we try to solve this problem?" Even organizations like the NBA and the NFL, NFL had the issue with the whole thing with the concussion issues. Even they started to figure out what they need to do and give them the extra helmet. They even talked to ex players to see what help to get. Remember Junior Seau, he killed himself. There's a bunch of other guys who killed themselves. The mental aspect of the mind is just the part that controls everything else. And if the mind has control of what you see. And if you look in the mirror, you see this person. Even though you have a fit, amazing body, a beautiful physique, you have everything looks almost perfect. It's almost perfect. But then you're always going to take the one little piece of it and say, you know what? That just messed up the whole thing.
Yeah, there was I wish I could find the video of this, but I saw this online. It was a case of demonstrating just what dysmorphia in general is, not necessarily for bodybuilding, but for other people. And it was an interesting experiment in which this therapist, this psychiatric therapist, was showing exactly what dysmorphia looks like or what it does. And she had this one woman who had dysmorphia and her family and her friends. And they said, okay, here's what we want to do. As far as the family and friends go, you draw the closest approximation that you can as to what you see in the woman who has dysmorphia. What does she look like? Then she directed the woman who had dysmorphia to look in the mirror and say, okay, you draw what you see. And then they went ahead and did that. They conducted the experiment and gathered all the family and friends together, and then the woman with dysmorphia separately. The difference was night and day. It's like the family and friends saw her as fit, as attractive, and it was just when you see the pictures as to what they drew, and the family and friends were right. But then it's like you look at her picture of herself, bloated, out of shape. It was like the difference is night and day. And it really is amazing how this really does that. If you pick yourself apart enough, you'll do this to yourself. And then when you see that and you get an idea as to what they are seeing of themselves versus what other people of themselves, it's like you look at it, it's like no wonder. It's like because they've got this such a distorted image that they're trying to clear up the problems they see in their physique when they don't have them. They're all literally a product of the mind. They actually don't exist in reality. So
Mhm.
it's like it's amazing to me because your mind can really screw up your body. And this would
Mhm.
be a great example of it.
Yeah, I remember a show I used to watch, American Dad, when Stan, he started to work it out, and then he somehow created this imaginary gym bro. And even though he looked really, really skinny, anorexic, just his body looked like it was breaking down. Jim Bro said, "Nah, bro, you still need to be pumped." Yeah, 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 yeah. And sometimes can't happen. Sometimes people would see people not there, telling them this and that. Like I said again, the mind, when it gets the hold of you, it takes all control. And sometimes you have to use that piece of yourself, say, you know what, I have to bring it in. I have to really sit down and think about what I'm doing, why I'm doing this, and I can't be afraid to reach out for help. Also, I followed this recently. This young man, his name is Jesse James West. He did a video about women in steroids, and I'm not going to play it because one thing with his stuff, he puts in a lot of sponsorships and tags in there. You know how YouTube is. And, remember I had a video clip of somebody, and then I had to take it down because it was because of their sponsorship was, even though they didn't show any of their stuff. It's just because that was produced by them. But he was talking with another bodybuilder. He competed for a bit, but he stopped. That's I think a gentleman by the name of Larry Wheel. I've seen him also on social media. I've seen him quite often in other bodybuilders and athletes, social media platforms. So where is it? So it's right here. Wait a minute. This is him. And saw it earlier. Yeah, so I jump on his IG because I probably can get it from the IG instead of get it from here. This
Have you ever looked in the mirror and been unhappy with what you see?
Every day decide to pursue bodybuilding.
Body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia.
It's real.
Fat gas in it.
Body.
Body dysmorphia is a mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time obsessing over flaws in their appearance, but these flaws are often unnoticeable to others. I'll uncover the reality of body dysmorphia, how we can combat this issue, and also how I myself have fallen victim to body dysmorphia for my entire life. Have you ever looked in the mirror?
Well, Jesse is also a natural competitor. He is very popular on social media. Like I said again, he recently did a video on women's steroids at the Olympia. We'll play a little bit of this here too, and this also can go into the aspect of why body dysmorphia also affects women, especially steroids. If that's one thing, part of it, it's one side effects of it. Yes.
Do you think I'm natty?
I just have to ask.
I'm like 200 pounds.
I can't assume, okay?
I mean, you kind of can.
All right, I kind of knew.
If you're a female bodybuilder in the pro league, you're not natty.
Are you natural?
No.
Es natural or no?
No, not natty.
Not natty.
Either of you. No hiding it either.
Not at all.
No reason to.
Natural. Natural. Lying to me right now? No. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes.
100%.
Yo, she's telling the truth right now.
No, I'm not on.
Okay, I thought
I would look a lot different, right? Are you on?
I am not on. It's loud and proud, natty baby. Let's go. Do I look like I'm on?
No.
Natty or not?
Well, that's right there. He talked to Anastasia Ryder. I sent her the video. She laughed at it a bit, but we talked about a little bit about it. I interviewed Anastasia a while back. Also, Hunter Hill was there, and I remember I watched the video. At the end of it, he was there with her when she was competing in her first Olympia. She was backstage talking, and then when it was afterwards, she just got ghost. I think because she didn't place as high as she wanted to, and that thing is with Hunter is the factor also of youth, because these young people, they put themselves on such a high scale, and then when that scale gets kind of broken down, it seems like their minds just can't handle it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, if the more seasoned you are, I think you're able to handle things better, period. I mean, I think you're able to, because you have more life experience. I mean, you've dealt with more in your life, and so you're able to handle things better. Not always. I mean, some people will deal with problems for the rest of their lives. The one thing that I was wondering is one potential reason for this. Now, I'm not a licensed psychologist or a therapist or a psychiatrist or anything like that, but I was just curious because I was listening to what Haley had posted. I'm trying to remember if this was on Facebook or IG, but she had talked about her journey as a bodybuilder, and she was saying that she was constantly comparing herself to other bodybuilders, that she was trying to see how she measured up with them. And I looked at that and I was like, well, if you're trying to find out an accurate view of yourself, I think that's the wrong way to go about it, is to compare yourself to others. If you want an accurate picture of what you really look like, because that's what she said she wanted approval from bodybuilders as to how big she was. And when she didn't get that, she would train harder and harder and harder, thinking that she wasn't up to snuff, when in fact she was. So I'm wondering if one of the contributing factors to this is they compare themselves to other bodybuilders to get an accurate view of themselves, when what they should be doing is hearing what the 99% of people who are not bodybuilders think of how she looks. I think that's the real accurate portrayal, as in the case of the experiment that we mentioned. The accurate view was not hers, it was everybody else around her. And so I'm just wondering whether or not that's a potential treatment for it, is just simply they're using the wrong barometer to be able to determine how they look. They should be asking other people who are not bodybuilders what they think of how they look, or what their size is, or such like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have here a guest, my man KL the Wanderer, just popped through here. Welcome, brother.
Well, what's up, everybody?
Yeah. What's your thoughts? I know you're more a fan of Weird Muscle, but have you had conversations that you have done interviews in some cases? You ever have conversations about their body image and how they feel about their bodies?
I can't really recall too much, but I was watching this thing in Jubilee, and it was like fit men versus fit women, and one of them it was a topic that they was talking about dysmorphia, how physical appearance versus health. And there was this bodybuilder, he was talking about how he would like focus more on physical appearance than health. So it was to a point where he had to kind of like look back and kind of like try to be healthy. That's what I got out of it. I mean, I didn't finish watching it. Like but it was different topics. But I would say dysmorphia was part of it and stuff like that. So I mean I don't really I can't really recall like a bodybuilder shared too much on it. Maybe I've mentioned it, but I remember when I was working out, I was going through that a little bit and stuff. So that's my experience on that. Because I would think that I didn't really look like, because at one point, I was fat, and I would always want to look at the mirror, and and people would just say, "Nah, you look fine," but I wouldn't believe it. Like I didn't really like how I looked, and I would kind of like look at people in the magazine and stuff like that, like Dorian Yates or somebody that I can recall, and I would always want to kind of look a bit better than how I was, but I would kind of always perceive it that I didn't really look the way I wanted to look. So that's the only type of experience that I could recall on me. So that's it.
Yeah, I can understand because, like I said, I'm still fat. I'm still huge,
Yeah.
and it's one thing when you look at somebody else. Like I got a nephew. He's tall. He's kind of thin. Got another nephew who's really skinny. Me and my younger brother, we kind of take more after our father's side of the family. They're kind of big, and sometimes one thing is genetics is hard to fight. Trying to change your how your body looks, the image of your body, and I think women, because society puts more value on a woman's looks or how attractive she is. Like, when you go to a movie, you want to see your favorite star. When you go to, like I worked in, you go to a strip club, you want that girl who, with the big old titties, the fat booty, she's pretty. You want that girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more fun to have girls who wasn't that pretty. They were like, all right looking, had a nice body, I know a few of those. And then, it's just like the one thing how the fit shaming thing that we talked. I think David, I should have said David, I know where he's working today, so he talked about this also, that a lot of these will get fit shamed, and that's the big
Yeah.
thing about it. It's
Yeah.
funny when you're shaming somebody because they want to look healthy and work out, they wouldn't shame me too much. It used to back in the day because when I was coming, I wasn't fat. I was kind of thick because I was young. I was growing up country. Country. I was a country boy. I ate pretty good. My mom, she fed us, and I ate a little more than I was supposed to. But you know what? Back then when I was going to high school, I was picked on because I was fat. It's just I was more bulky. I was how
Yeah.
you have I was called more of a endomorph because I can I didn't get as built, but I still had the size. And it was good. It was really more thick. You know, and I couldn't be as lean and skinny as the other guys.
I did, I'm not gonna lie. I recently did a video. I don't know if you've seen it or not about it was a topic about it was like various topics, but one of the topics was how these women they make videos on how guys kind of shame them and stuff, and I did kind of I don't know, it wasn't like hard criticism. I was just saying, like, why do you feed into it? Because when you just saying it, it's like you giving them what they want, really, in my opinion, because you shouldn't let it phase you, like, but everybody's different. But at the same time, it's like, because this is one lady, she was saying that she's married and her husband appreciate her, but she's kind of responding to this guy that say that or I don't understand, something commenting about her being strong and lifting weights, and so she's like responding to it. And I was just saying that, what's the point of you doing all that? I don't understand. Like, you making the video and your husband appreciates you. That's what counts. Like, forget what the other dude or anybody's saying. They just trolling. They just want to get a kick out of it. because they just want attention. You know, it's like you see, like when you were a kid and you start picking on a girl that you like because you want her to notice, you want her to notice you and stuff. I don't know to say that it's everybody, but but that's what I kind of perceive, you know. So I was just saying that then there was this somebody, I tagged their name on it because I put them in a video what I was doing, and so she was like, "Oh, that's silly what you're doing," and I'm saying like you're attacking these. Well, I'm not attacking them. I'm just saying that you don't need to feed into other people's bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Like you know, like you just giving them the energy to when I mean energy, you're giving them attention by you putting those videos out, regardless if it's a parody or you just expressing how you feel. That's my opinion. I could people might not agree with it, but that's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody has a different opinion of what they thought, especially from some of these ladies. Conversation I have to sometimes they get attacked so much, especially with women with muscle. Sometimes they feel like if you just maybe doing critique of them, it's feel like you're attacking them personally. Maybe not, maybe it's not personal. It's just something that you saw and you thought and you wanted to share. And
But not to gut you up, but there's guys that give them attention. That's the thing. Like there's guys that give them attention and almost worship these women and stuff like that. So I mean, y'all don't be talking about that much, but y'all talk about the people that call you fit shaming on you and stuff like that. So that's what.
Well, like that when you get attacked, they usually attack people that attack them. Like sometimes I just saw somebody posted this. It was about Hunter Henderson, how she looks like a man. Well, I keep saying this, looking like a man. That's no one can look ever like a man. Being a man is a mind state. You can look very more masculine. You might have some very more masculine features, but being a man is a mind state, something you grow and develop over time, just by looks. There's some guys who look very feminine. And also one thing about it, talk about the steroids thing, go back to that. Men also have estrogen because humans, we have men and women. We have a lot of biological differences, but we do have a good amount of biological similarities. Like, okay, if something happens to you, you get sick. A woman can give you a kidney, or you can give somebody blood, or this because we share some biological traits. I think when somebody going out, even some guys and bodybuilders have estrogen in their system. We might have a lot of steroids, testosterone in their system, naturally. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You just be in there.
But there's men that look like a woman that look like a woman.
Yeah, it's kind of like so you ever see like
so they're all men. They're all women that look like men, and there's men that look like women.
Yeah. You got those pretty boys, those
they ain't no pretty boy. They look like a woman. Some of them are, like Decepticon women. I don't want to say trans. I don't want to say, the other word.
It's transgender. Yeah, it's transgender.
Yeah, transgender.
Yeah. Those are those who should make that transformation. But there's just some guys who just look too pretty to be like, you thinking, hey, you just need like a good example is Prince.
Yeah. Prince, okay. All right.
Prince was I mean, one time Prince was on. It was the one of the award shows. He has hair in a bun. He still had the 5 o'clock shadow, but he had the high heels on. And Prince was a short dude. And he said, Prince would make a pretty woman. If he was born a woman, he'd be a sexy motherfucker. That's what the song
You probably shouldn't say that.
That's true. Hey, come on. Hey, come on. The man,
But no, I get what you're saying. Sometimes you didn't even know what he was. You didn't know if he was straight or I know some of it seemed like an act, but I don't know. He was weird. I mean, he was talented, but he was weird, like straight up.
Well, no different from Michael Jackson, But
no doubt. Yeah, I don't disagree on that. Yeah, no
but
doubt.
Here's the story about Prince. I remember I was watching this thing where when he was younger, his dad used to play in burlesque clubs. That's like pretty much stripping, and he used to hang out with him. he learned his style from the women in those clubs. That's why, you remember back, like Charlie Murphy said best, the dude looked like the most like a bitch was getting the women.
Yeah.
And that was like about the 80s, the big, androgyny thing was really big, guys like your Boy George, and you had
Yeah.
these other groups and singers coming out, and
He
that
was
thing
gay.
was
I think he's
he,
gay.
he was he
George
was gay.
Floyd.
Yeah, he was gay.
Yeah,
He was
he's
gay.
gay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was gay. Prince, he wasn't. He just, he just had a different style to him. He had like a bunch of girlfriends. Was married 2 or 3 times. And I think about society. We see something that's not considered the norm in my mindset. We see, like, you see these young guys wearing around wearing tight jeans, and and cut off shirts, and you see the girls wearing, like, good example, Billie Eilish.